Hey there, Alan here, and forgive me for interrupting the beginning of this really inspiring video. It's inspiring on two levels. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm Alan from RVAcrossamerica.net, and as almost always with my videos, there is much more that I share with you in writing, and that is at RVAcrossamerica.net / RV Travel 14, 14, RV Travel 14. Why RV Travel 14? Because I am approaching 14 years on the road. It'll be 14 years in November, and I'm recording this on September 1st. It's hard to believe it's September, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I mentioned that the video is going to be inspiring on two levels. Now, I've been a full-timer for almost 14 years, and it's amazing how time flies. And I just did a drive from Saratoga to Casper, Wyoming, and it's only my second travel since I left Vernal. Let me kind of back up a little bit and bring you to speed there. I was in Vernal to get some surgery done. I got some fairly significant surgery, hernia surgery. They did the full surgery, not the laparoscopic. And of course, anytime you go under the knife, there's always that thing in the back of your mind. Well, what if this doesn't go well? What if I don't come out from under it as well as I expect? Are my travel days over? Well, as it turns out, I have recovered 100%. I'm fine. I went to a dermatologist even when I was down there, and they picked up a little bit of basal cell skin cancer, which is thanks to probably 50 years ago spending too many days down at Belmar and down at the Jersey Shore. But in a way that ties in with what happened on the drive from Saratoga to Casper. It came into focus when I started traveling. I have another post coming up very soon that details full-time RV travel, and it actually details the drive also from Vernal to Saratoga. So that was the prior drive to the one that I just did. I'm now in Casper, been here about a week, and I'll be here for another week or so. I'm seeing friends, and I'll say goodbye to them, and I'll be heading on, working my way north for winter. So that's something that most RVers cannot and do not say. But me, I'm nuts. What can I tell you? I'll tell you more about winter coming up, but I don't want this to be a 4-hour video. So I mentioned the drive from Saratoga to Casper was inspiring on two levels. One level is just the Wyoming scenery, just being out really in one of the most desolate areas in the country, in the lowest population and probably lowest population density state in the country. And that alone is worth the price of admission. But then, thanks to some strange events, the night before I left Saratoga, there was major power failure, long enough that I think it either fried or took out a Verizon tower, which means when I woke up in the morning, it really was about 30 years earlier. It was the late 1990s. So it was totally appropriate that when I got behind the wheel of the truck and I'm getting ready to pull the camper, and I had no cell service, which means I had no access to podcasts, I tuned into Sirius XM radio, which again brought me back 30 years from, the ability that I have now normally with Verizon access, to listening to a Sirius XM channel. I chose the Bruce Springsteen channel, and they happened to have chosen a live concert from November 24th, 1975, which of course caused my head to explode, because not only was that about 2.5, 3 years before I discovered Bruce, I didn't even discover the Jersey Shore music scene until the late summer of 1977 when I went to the Stone Pony to a Southside Johnny concert, and he just retired months ago. Bruce Springsteen is still playing. Bruce Springsteen has been playing since the late 1960s, but his first album didn't come out till 1973. So a concert recorded, and it was a good recording, in 1975 is a pretty good find. And it worked its way over to the Sirius channel that Bruce Springsteen has all his music on, and he's given them free license to play whatever they want. So it was really cool. His concerts back then were about 4 hours long. I caught maybe 2.5 hours of it. so it was already in progress. You're going to hear some of it in the recording when I kick back to the video, and I'm going to do a voiceover, trying not to interfere too much with the music, but there are things that I want to share with you as we go along. But hey, listen, while you're here, if you'd be kind enough to, if you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, respond to somebody else's comment. I'd love to get some dialogue going. It helps. Give a thumbs up with what they call the algorithm. It helps to build the channel. If you're seeing this on my website, rvacrossamerica.net /RVTravel14, well, you can leave comments down below, and I read and respond to all of them. I love the dialogue. But also, if you see the video on my website, just click the YouTube button. It'll bring you directly to YouTube, and you can do all that stuff I mentioned a minute ago. It helps. So with that said, let me kick back to the video, and then I've got more to share as I do a voiceover as we're driving from Saratoga to Casper. Hey, thank you. Okay, so here we go. We are at Saratoga Lake Campground. You can see the lake off on the right-hand side. You're at the campsites, and you can see there's nobody there. This was Monday, the 25th of August when I was leaving, and it was dead. At best, there were 40% occupancy even on the weekends. In a moment, we'll be going through the wetlands. We're going through wetlands now next to the lake. As you can see from the screen, pretty flamingo, and I'll stop talking. Now, I apologize, it's not studio quality audio. This is off of my truck radio into the webcam, and of course now I've recorded it onto this. This is a bit further up the road. They call it 6 Mile Hill, climbing away from northbound, away from Saratoga, and you can hear Bruce going into his riff on back streets.
Rangers had a homecoming in Harlem last night. And
Devil in a Blue Dress was first released by Mitch Ryder and Detroit Wheels in 1966. So in 1975, it would have been considered an oldie. And it's amazing that a recording like this from a concert in 1975 made it to a Sirius XM channel. Sirius didn't even start until 2002, and it blew me away because in 1975, when I was listening to radio, you get out in an area like this in rural Wyoming, not that I was there, it would be virtually impossible to hear anything. I want to thank you for taking this nostalgic trip with me, and you hear the cheering in the background. I wonder if these people from the 1975 recording knew they'd be cheering our arrival to the metropolis of Medicine Bow, population 238. It's the only town that exists in between Saratoga and Casper, if you can believe it. It's about a 150-mile drive between the two communities. On the left is a hotel and kind of a bar and cafe called the Virginian. And we're headed over to a place where you can get fuel, which I didn't need. It's the only place that has fuel, again, pretty much between Saratoga and Casper. There is one other gas station I can think of when we crossed under Interstate 80. And again, it's about 150 miles between two towns. About a 3-hour drive the way I'm driving this thing, although these are 2-lane highways, they're state routes, and you can move in a car easily at 70 miles or more miles per hour. Here we are at JB's Stop and Shop. So we're turning around, we're back on the road, got coffee, and working our way to North 487. We had been on 130 North and then 287, which is more or less eastbound for a little bit from the interstate. And now it's 487 North. Once we turn north on 487, you'll notice that there's some wind turbines, and we've passed some before. Wyoming's a windy place, and it is a pretty good place to generate energy. I'll stop yapping and let you listen to Bruce. Here's the wind turbines, and here's another cover that Bruce did called Quarter to Three. And again, it blows me away that this is over 50 years old, or about 50 years old, and Bruce has been performing from then right through now, and God knows how much longer it's going to continue. Concert has ended. The Ties That Bind is a song from 1980, still on the Bruce channel, but you can see how picturesque it is up here. We're still on 47. We're getting close to Casper, and it just takes you in with the rolling hills and the mountains, and again, very windy place. During the winter, this is just a nightmare to go through because of the blowing snow. This is the last stretch of 487 where you're in the rolling hills before you begin to drop down around Route 220, Wyoming 220, right into Casper. You'll see in a moment the RV park that I'm staying in. It's called Fort Caspar RV Park and or Fort Caspar Campground. It's around the corner from a historic place called Fort Caspar. Um, I'm here and I'm just still reminded, here we are arriving at Fort Caspar, reminded of how much I really enjoy this full-time life of travel. Um, moving from place to place, enjoying it. And I've got a post coming up next. It'll be out in a few days, hopefully, on the practicalities and realities of full-time RVing. I've seen some recent posts online, videos online talking about reasons that full-timing is becoming a train wreck and full-timing is, 7 reasons not to full-time. Well, I don't buy it. People are, I guess it's clickbait. I guess they're aiming for what they want you to click on and get scared. I think they're promoting panic. I'm going to talk to you about, again, the practicalities and realities of full-time RV travel. And that's what's coming up. But for this one, look, it's we're almost 14 years in. Listening to Bruce Springsteen from 50 years ago was really a trip. And while I'm here, I've been doing a lot of biking, maybe a little more kayaking before I leave. And again, you can find this post will be at rvcrossamerica.net/RV travel 14. That'll pop up on your screen in just a minute. You're seeing me kind of meander through the RV park, and you see a whole bunch of sites here that are open. There are a few that are not accessible because the electric's not working, but they still have open sites here. And that's another issue that we're going to talk about because there is a lot of open space where I've been traveling to and heading to. And we'll have a conversation about that. Anyway, Alan here, you take care and have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Be good.